What's up, guys? It's Cass from Sewmill & Co. Today I'm in the resin studio, and our project for today's video is going to be filling this giant e-mold with resin and shell casings. So you guys can check moldyfun.com out on Instagram. I'll tag them below. Thank you guys for sending this to me, and I can't wait to make a project with it. There's tons of inspiration on their Instagram, so be sure to check that out, and you guys can grab a letter for yourself. Today, like I said, I'm going to be filling these with shell casings. You guys know me, you know my love for shell casings, so let's do that. But to start, I'm going to finally be able to use Annie's Art Studio Resin Kit. Look at that beautiful face on there. I've been dying to use this, and this is a perfect opportunity to start. So as always with my shell casings, I always start with a base layer to kind of give me that layer so my shell casings aren't sitting at the bottom of the mold, which is actually going to end up being the front of this letter. So again, I'm going to start with a very thin layer of Annie's Art Studio Kit. So let's go do that, and then we'll come back probably about 4 hours later when this is cured, and then we'll add the shell casings and the deep pour. And yeah, I can't wait to see what this looks like. Totally don't know if it's going to turn out how I'm envisioning it, but let's try. All right, so it's getting a little bit chilly out in the studio, so first I'm going to go ahead and warm up our resin. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and measure out my part A. First of all, I love that these kits come with this little cap. It makes pouring so much easier. So I microwaved that bowl of water for a couple minutes, and now I'm just going to let this resin sit in there for about 5 minutes. And then after the 5 minutes, we'll take it out and we'll add in our part B. So the next step is stirring, and while I am going to speed it up here, this is real time, and this is how you should stir for roughly 2 minutes. You really want to make sure to stir slowly. This is going to create less bubbles. Look how good that looks. This is all because I, number one, heated up my part A, and I stirred very slowly. So you don't have to worry about bubbles as much when you're just doing a flood coat. The thinner the coats, the easier it is for those bubbles to release from the resin. But here I'm going to be pouring about 1/4 inch, so it makes it harder for those bubbles to pop and come to the surface. That's why we want to just make sure that we, number one, heat up the resin, and number two, stir very slowly. And then lastly, I'm just going to go over it to pop some bubbles. I'm going to use my heat gun versus the torch to avoid burning the mold. Okay guys, so now it's time to wait for that layer to cure, and then we'll go back out and add the shell casings and the deep pour. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information on this kit while we wait. So the Annie's Art Studio kit is actually composed of the flag system and the medium hardener from Mas Epoxies. Now, when you typically go to the Moss site, you have to purchase both of those separately. So Annie wanted to make it easier for you and me and everyone else to just go on the site and grab that kit. So again, the kit is composed of the flag system and the medium hardener. Now, you can typically buy the flag system and you can pair it with either the fast, the medium, or the slow hardener. I, like Annie, typically use the medium hardener, and that's going to give us about a 4-hour cure time compared to tabletop. Now, we could have done tabletop today, but I would have had to wait 8 hours to be able to go back out, put my shell casings in the deep pour. So it just saves us a lot of time, and it's perfect for projects like this where we want to do multiple layers in a shorter amount of time. So again, I typically use it a lot for the shell casing pieces where I have to do that first base layer so that the shell casings aren't flush with the mold. But there are many reasons that you can use them. Annie uses them for her dominoes and her pyramids and everything that you want to, again, do multiple layers in a quicker amount of time. So yeah, that's that. The reason why I'm using that. But again, we're going to wait 4 hours, and then we're going to go back out and we will add the shell casings in the deep pour. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I have the deep pour measured, and I'm just mixing this until I don't see any more of those string like striations. If you're ever wondering how much resin to mix, there's a great calculator on the Mas Epoxies website. You'll be able to put in your like surface dimensions and everything and calculate that, and it'll tell you exactly how much of each system to use. So that's super helpful, but of course I never end up using that, and I just guess. Okay, so I have my shell casings, the resin is cured, and then I'm just going to go ahead and lay out all the shell casings to see how many I want in the piece. And then you'll see those little stones are what cleans the shell casings in the tumbler. So whenever you're using shell casings that have been tumbled, always make sure to avoid getting any of those little stones in your pieces.
Okay, so I skipped a little portion of the video, but I went ahead and filled it up the rest of the way, and now I'm just gently popping the bubbles with the heat gun. And now we just wait until it cures.
Okay guys, so I'm back. It's cured, it's ready to demold, and you can hear my goats in the background. But I'm gonna go ahead and demold this. So I'm just gonna like lightly go around the edges and like pop it off of all the edges before I try to take the whole thing off. So again, I'm just like pulling off the sides, and then I'll start to just open, and then I'll just push it out. But I'm gonna do it a little bit at a time all the way around. Coming out really good. So I did end up, I can see bubbles already, but I still think it looks cool, and I'll have to figure out something for that next time. But as far as the mold goes, it looks good. These bubbles right here were my fault, but otherwise it does look pretty cool. There's a couple bubbles, and there's actually some like surface bubbles that I got, and I'll show you guys like out in the light.
So from afar, you can't really tell that it has bubbles, but you guys can see that I definitely ended up with some bubbles on this piece, which is kind of a bummer. I do these shell casing pieces so often though with the same method, so I definitely think that it was just a mixture of user error / bad temperature in the studio that day. But I'm excited to give this another go and try again, and I hope that you guys do too. But yeah, this one was super fun to make.
All right, guys, so that is it for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Comment, let me know what you guys thought about the video, or if you have any suggestions. I'm always interested in learning from you guys. Thank you, Mas Epoxies and Annie, for sending the Annie's Art Studio kit. I love it, and I can't wait to use it again. I have a lot of fun ideas. This kit is definitely going to come in handy for me and you guys, so make sure you use code STONEMAIL to save on yours. And a special thank you to moldyfun.com for sending me this letter mold. I really hope I get a chance to use another letter mold in the very near future. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.